Oh, hello, welcome to this video. In this video, I want to talk about Tesla. So today is 1st of April, so let's have a look at Tesla. This is the daily chart of Tesla. Now, last week when I looked at Tesla, I basically said that Tesla was looking lackluster. And that's because Tesla was basically trading sideways in this zone. And as a result, I said that Tesla was looking lackluster. Also, Tesla is in consumer discretionary, and that whole sector was looking neutral at best to me. It was going sideways. Now, also Tesla was trading sideways all of last week, but then on Friday we had this big green candle. So Tesla was up 6.24%. Ahead of some important report that's going to be coming out tomorrow. Tesla is expected to announce the production and delivery for the first quarter of 2023. And Wall Street is expecting Tesla to deliver 432,000 cars in the first quarter. Obviously, that's going to have an impact on Tesla. If the number comes in above expectation, then I would expect positive reaction. But if the number comes in below expectation, then obviously you can expect some negative reaction. So Monday we'll learn how the market is reacting to the announcement. But if I just leave that aside and just look at what the technical picture looks like, ahead of that, I think some of the rebound on Friday was related to the positioning ahead of this report. Maybe the market is expecting Tesla to come in above those expectations, and so traders and investors were looking to take a position ahead of that. Now, if we look at the daily chart, the structure. So the structure we have is high, a lower high, a lower high. So this was the structure until this happened on Friday. Because on Friday, what Tesla did is it closed above this previous high. So this sequence of lower high has now been invalidated on a daily basis. Instead, what we have is a low, a higher low, and higher low. This is a confirmed higher low right now. So we go from a lower trend to an uptrend. So the trend has now changed. So it's now moving to the upside. So the structure definitely has changed after this rally on Friday. Now, if I look at where the price is in relation to the moving averages, you'll notice that Tesla consolidated above the daily 20 and 50 moving average for quite a few days, and then bounced very nicely on Friday. So it's now well above the moving averages, which are kind of flat at the moment, but it still remains below the 200-day moving average. So it hasn't yet taken out this 200-day moving average, and that number is around 216, 215.82 to be precise. So that's the 200-day moving average, and Tesla needs to take that out because you can see that the 200-day moving average is still sloping downwards. But aside from that, the daily picture, the price action is looking positive. At least it's making a series of higher lows. What about the momentum indicators? You can see that the MACD remains above the zero line, which is positive, and RSI bounced off the 50 level and now moved higher. So that's also looking positive. So the momentum indicators on a daily basis definitely looks positive to me. So on the whole, I would say that with the exception of the fact that it hasn't taken out the 200-day moving average yet, it is looking more positive than negative to me at the moment. Now, if I look at the weekly chart, just to see what we see. On a weekly basis, you can see that over the last several weeks, it's been trading between this level and this level. Now, this level has the potential to be a weekly higher low. So you can see that this was a low. So this could be another weekly higher low. But to confirm that, it needs to close above this level. which is around, it needs to close, we need a weekly close above 217.65, let's say 218. So if it closes above 218, then this becomes a confirmed weekly high. And then the weekly structure then changes. If you look at the current structure, what do we see? High, a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, and this is still a lower high. So you can see that we have a sequence of lower highs. But if it's able to close above this level, then that sequence gets broken. And then what we have is a sequence of higher lows, a low, a higher low. So that would basically change the structure and, from being negative to positive. Yeah, it still has a lot of work to do, but the structure would start to look more positive than now. If I look at the momentum indicators, you can see that RSI has now reclaimed the 50 level, which is right here, and that's positive because it had dipped below the 50 for a while, and then you see this big red candle. But it has now reclaimed the 50 level, which is positive. It needs to stay above the 50. The longer it stays above the 50 level, the more relevant. And generally what we see is that when RSI is above 50, we generally see positive price action. You can see from here to here, the RSI was below the 50 level, and look at what happened. We see negative price action. So it definitely needs to hold the 50 level. So at the moment it's looking good. MACD is moving higher, but it hasn't closed above the zero line. This is the zero line. It needs to get back above the zero line. So when MACD is above the zero line and RSI is above the 50 level, both of the momentum indicators would be positive, and that would change the weekly picture from negative to positive. So I would say at the moment it is beginning to look better, but we need to take out this level. This is an important level, and that basically makes it much more bullish. If I look at the weekly, the moving averages, you can see that it has reclaimed the daily, the weekly 20. The weekly 50 is right at this level, which is where this resistance is, 215. If you look at the daily, that's where the 200-day moving average is, right there. So on a weekly basis, this is an important level because it would take out the weekly 20 and 50, both of these moving averages. So from a moving average point of view, because you can see they're kind of flattening out. So what you want to see is that they start to move higher. Once price is above both of them, then these two moving averages would start to move higher. So this is an important level, 217. And I think if the reaction is positive to tomorrow's delivery report, then I think it has a good chance of moving above 217. If it's able to take out this 217, what's the target? Well, since it traded between 217 and this level right here, which is what level is that? It's around 167. A full measured move of this distance, if it's able to break, would project a target to this level, which is around 267. Now, obviously, I'm not expecting it to go there in 1 week. Remember, it has consolidated inside this range for several weeks. So if it's able to break out of this range, I would expect it to gradually move to this level in coming weeks, because I'm looking at a weekly time frame. So I'm not expecting it to go to this level in 1 week. I'm expecting it to happen over coming weeks. But that would be the target once it's able to break out of this level. So I would say at the moment, looking at both the daily and the weekly, things are looking more positive than negative to me. Now, obviously, everything depends on tomorrow and what the market's reaction is to tomorrow's report. So I'll leave it at that. I'll come back with another update next week. By that time, we'll be able to see what the market's reaction is to the delivery report. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you like the video, please consider subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. Thank you very much.